Welcome to Wellness Woodbridge. I am so excited to be the new host of the show. My name is Ann Mazza. I'm from Vito Mazza Salon and Spa right here in Woodbridge. We've been family owned and operated for about 47 years right here on Main Street. So I'm so thrilled to be part of the Wellness Committee for the past 3 years here in Woodbridge, and I will be joining you every week. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fun and some good laughs. And today I have a wonderful guest with me from JAG Physical Therapy. I have Amanda here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about their business and how we can help prevent some summer injuries for kids. So Amanda, how are you? I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me today.
Great. Tell me, where is JAG located in Woodbridge?
So JAG is located at 10 Woodbridge Center Drive. It's right across from Wegmans, and we're on the first floor of the big office building next to the community center.
Okay, great. And what does JAG stand for?
So JAG is the initials of the owner of the company, John Gallucci, and we have about 9 locations. I work in the Woodbridge office. Like I said, we're located on Woodbridge Center Drive.
Wonderful. So we're definitely happy to have your business as part of this Woodbridge community, I'm sure.
Thank you.
So at JAG, what do you see with kids' injuries? What is like one of the most common injuries that you might see come in the summertime?
We see a lot of different injuries. Most commonly, I'd say ACL tears, which is the anterior cruciate ligament in the knee, ankle sprains. We've seen concussions, shoulder injuries, all different types of things.
Would you say more commonly you get either boys or girls more often at the physical therapy?
It's about equal right now. ACL tears are usually more common in females because we have looser ligaments in our knees, so they tend to be more common.
I'm surprised. I would have said boys there,
Yeah.
but that's funny. So what types of sports would you say those girls would be playing that might have those ACL tears?
Soccer is usually the most common sport for ACL injuries in females.
Oh, okay, and usually at the like high school level or younger kids?
We've seen anywhere from elementary school up until high school and even older adults, but primarily in the high school years because sports get a little bit more competitive at that time.
And now you are a physical therapist
Yes.
there. So if someone came in with that type of an injury, what exactly would that protocol be for, their recuperation?
So generally there's surgery for that type of injury, and it takes about 6 months to recover. But there are ways to prevent ACL injuries.
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit
Sure.
more for our
Yes.
viewers at home?
So a lot of protocols involve strengthening the legs, working on flexibility, working on stabilizing the knee. So there are a lot of different exercises based on what is weak in each person. So it would be an individualized program. Generally, they target the hip musculature because we have wider hips, tend to have weaker hip muscles, and their quads are on the front of the leg, the hamstrings are in the back. So generally there is sometimes a difference in the ratio between quad strength to hamstring strength. So we want to try to equalize that. And we also want to try to stabilize the knee by working on balance exercises, different types of agility drills. So physical therapy definitely plays an important role in preventing ACL tears as well as helping with the recovery process.
That's wonderful. I was a dancer myself. Would you say that stretching would be a huge part in this, or do you think it matters either way had they stretched prior to exercise?
I think stretching is definitely important for any type of exercise you're going to do prior to as well as afterwards. If your muscle isn't lengthened appropriately and then you try to contract the muscle, you may be more prone to an injury. There's conflicting evidence on it, but we do recommend stretching prior to and after exercise.
Okay. As far as sports go for boys, what do you tend to find with the boys?
A lot of baseball injuries, especially in the shoulder. Baseball is probably one of the most common sports where if you play baseball, you usually play all year round. And playing a sport all year definitely aids in an overuse injury because you never give the muscles time to rest. So we would recommend trying to take breaks in between seasons before going right into it, making sure the muscles are properly conditioned, go through proper throwing mechanics, things like that for preventing injuries in baseball.
As a mom of 3, I'll be spending most of my time on the baseball field starting this month, actually. We've already started, and my one son is on a travel team as well.
Yes.
So he wants to pitch. I'd probably rather not because I could see myself
Yeah.
needing to come for physical therapy for his shoulder as well. Would you say that the summer or the winter or the fall affects the situation, or what do you see more frequently in the summertime with these kids and sports injury?
The summertime, People, as the new warmer weather is approaching, they try to get involved in more activity. So running is a big thing that people, I want to start running this year, and they've never run before or in the past couple years. So something important to starting a running program is after sitting on the couch for 2 hours, you don't want to get up and run 5 miles, especially if you haven't done it in a while. So you want to get into a running program. So something you can do to prevent injuries while running is starting off slow. Maybe take a 5-minute interval and run 1 minute, walk for 4 minutes. Do that a couple times, maybe for 20 minutes. Then once running for 1 minute gets easy, progress to 1.5 minutes the following week. Run 1.5 minutes, walk 3.5 minutes.
So a gradual progression
exactly.
to getting involved in sports. Well, I think that does tend to be an issue because maybe these kids have been in school, the majority of their day. Now all of a sudden maybe we're putting them into a summer camp program or something where now they're doing it for 5-6 hours at a time.
So definitely making sure that they have the proper strength in their legs. Balance is actually a big issue. We see a lot of ankle sprains, especially running on uneven surfaces. If you're running on grass, kids tend to slip, they trip, they sprain their ankle. So in order to try to prevent ankle sprains, you would want to work on balancing exercises, ankle stability exercises. Something simple you could do at home, standing on one leg for 30 seconds at a time. That'll help strengthen all of the muscles in the leg and really provide stability to the ankle. And then to work on uneven surfaces, you can put a pillow under your foot and really try to challenge yourself that way, and it really works all the muscles in the ankle.
So as a mom, I guess I would have to be sharing this with my children.
Yes.
Or how do you think moms should prepare their kids for these types of activities?
So most kids, they love playing, love getting involved in sports. If you have multiple kids, you could have it as a competition for who can balance on one leg for longer. Try to get the whole family involved with exercising and really targeting those muscle groups that tend to be weak. Like I said, in females, it tends to be the hip muscles and the hamstrings. So sidestepping is a really good exercise to work the muscles in the hips. Balancing, like I said, if you have like a rolling stool or something at home, just like scooting yourself forward really works the hamstring muscles. You don't want to do too much at a time because you don't want to get a muscle strain or anything like that. So if you have any questions, consulting a physical therapist or your physician prior to doing any of these things is really important.
Is the way to go. Can I ask you also about concussion injury? Do you have any
Sure.
information on that for parents? Because I know that's a big problem right now.
Yeah, concussion has become a really hot topic recently. So wearing properly fitting helmets and making sure they're fitting correctly. Some kids just put a helmet on and it could be too big, too small, so you want to really make sure that they're fitting properly. Athletic trainers are very important in concussion prevention and also the treatment of concussions. So also wearing a properly fitted mouth guard, making sure the helmets are conditioned, which is basically maintenance for the helmet. So you don't want to wear a helmet that was used all season and then it just sits in a closet somewhere and then you bring it out the following season. So you want to make sure that the helmets have been inspected and conditioned for the new season.
Oh, that's a really great point. I know my son, we try to get him in a chest protector. You know, we're gearing him up in all different types of paraphernalia just to get him out there and make sure that they're safe. Because as parents, it's awful to have, be out there and have that moment where something goes wrong and you just want to be able to prevent that at all costs.
Exactly. Especially for football, it's a big contact sport. So anyone that plays a contact sport, you want to have a baseline of brain function. And there are different types of tests that you can use. It's called IMPACT, I think, is one, where it just basically gives you a baseline of their mental status without having some sort of head injury. And then you can use that same test to assess them after a head injury to see if there's any sort of concussion or anything like that.
Oh, that's wonderful that they have that all in place now, because it's scary when they fall, and they can fall anywhere, and it can affect their head.
Yes,
So.
and returning to play too soon is also another issue that we deal with after concussion. People think, okay, they're fine today, they can go back to sports, but really they need to be symptom-free for about a week. And there's a 6-step program, I think it's called Zurich, that athletic trainers put athletes through to see if they're ready to return to sports. And it's basically a gradual progression. They'll start them on the bike and see if they're symptom-free, and after the bike, it'll progress to running and different things like that to see if they are ready to return to sports.
Wonderful. Well, Amanda, just to kind of recap a little bit, I want to say that we've talked about, really with the summer too, hydration, some stretching, and you were explaining balance exercises, especially the difference between girls and boys, what tends to be the ACL we talked about, and then the other injury for the boys was the shoulder.
Yes, shoulder
areas.
injuries.
So that's really all very, very important. Would you say basketball as well with the shoulder, or?
Basketball, we tend to see more ankle sprains and also knee injuries because of the landing mechanics and things like that. And that's why we also work on proper biomechanics with running and jumping. So we work on box jumps. Females in particular tend to land with their knees together. So you want to really make sure your knees are over your toes. Some boys too, if they have any weakness anywhere, really want to make sure they're landing with soft feet, not slamming on the floor or anything like that. So that's something that physical therapists also help with, not just after injury, but also prior to injury.
Well, it's a wonderful thing that you do. I think it's great that you're able to help the kids.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's hard for them also emotionally to go through an injury. So
Yes, definitely.
I think as parents, the best thing we can do is try to help prevent the injury.
Yes.
But once they're there, it's great to know that they're going to have people like you to help them get through their recovery and their
Thank you.
recuperation. So it's wonderful to have you as a guest today.
I loved being here. Thank you so
Again,
much.
it's Amanda from JAG Physical Therapy. We'll be right back.
Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me. What time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Low-fat cheese sandwiches on whole wheat bread. Chewy and good for you. Snacks high in calcium help build strong bones, and foods rich in fiber are good for your heart, so you have the power to dominate. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
A beautiful day at the Woodbridge Community Center Skyline Mini Golf Course for the first annual Skyline Mini Golf Championship. If Katie can sink this putt, the championship is hers. What a shot! She sinks the putt and is the Skyline Mini Golf Champion. Let's go down to the green.
So, Katie, tell us how you did it.
Well, it's all my time spent here at Skyline Mini Golf Course. With its 18 holes of golfing fun and its stunning view of New York City, it's the perfect place for me to practice. And a great place for our private parties, corporate events, and birthday parties.
That it is, Katie. And congratulations on your championship. Skyline Mini Golf Course, where legends are made.
Welcome back to Wellness Woodbridge. I have a great guest here for the second segment of our show, and her name is Lindsay Pollock, and she's of the WCC, which is our Woodbridge Community Center, and she's here to talk to us about summer camps. So I'm so excited to hear all about this. I know as a mom, this is the time of year where you start to worry, uh-oh, I have to work, and what am I doing with my kids? They're going to be out of school shortly, so you want to make those arrangements and get ready, and it's so great to know that Woodbridge has so much to offer for these working parents. So tell me a little bit about the camp program at the Woodbridge Community Center.
Okay. Well, again, I'm Lindsay Pollock. I'm the aquatics coordinator at the Woodbridge Community Center. I'm also a little bit in charge of the camps right now. I help put our brochure together for everything, and we have a lot of different things to offer this year. We're going to be holding a summer camp at the Woodbridge Community Center. We'll also be holding a camp through the Recreation Department, as well as Bowtie Pool, Highland Grove Pool, and we'll also be offering specialty camps that will be run out of the Woodbridge Community Center. So we have a lot to offer right now. There's a lot of different sports camps. There's also sports camps that are going to be run through our local high schools, so JFK, Colonia, and Woodbridge. So our age range really goes anywhere from 3 to 17 right now. We have a lot of open things for everybody.
That was my next question, was how soon could I get the kids in camp? So as of 3 years old,
yes,
they're able to come. And what would their 3-year-old like preschool program look like if they came for the day?
Generally, if they come, we do hold snack for them. We do have AM camps, we do have PM camps, just to assist with the parents, those who work in the morning, those who work in the afternoon. They also generally, they'll get a swim lesson, or they might just get open rec time. The camp counselors also plan different activities throughout the day, so they'll move around, especially throughout the WCC. We have so many amenities there. They might roller skate, they might go play mini golf for the day. There might be a different sport that they could play, or, we take them to the parks and things like that as well. So we have a lot to offer.
That's wonderful. So how about like the next age up, which I would see maybe as your, maybe your 8, 9, 10-year-old, what would those kids be doing during the day?
A little bit of the same thing. We like to keep all of the activities open to all ages. We also have themes of each week, so the kids they'll come in, they might dress up as their favorite superhero. It might be a Hawaiian week or zoo week. They do take trips as well, which tie into those themes of the week. Yeah, and at the end of the week, they generally have a big party, which represents everything that they learned or that they experienced throughout that week. So it's a really good experience for the kids. They get to swim. They'll also, we like to integrate our camps this year, so they will be taking trips to the other locations, such as Highland Grove and Bowtie, and experiencing the things that they have to offer as well.
Oh, that's great. So there is a lot of outdoor activity is what I'm hearing you say
Yes.
too. And I know in Woodbridge we have so many beautiful parks and great things for the kids to do outside. So that would be more like basketball. They have, park equipment. Any boating or anything to that nature?
As far as boating goes, not really.
Okay.
We really did stick to the general sports. We will be offering like a multi-sports camp. There will be a cricket camp this year.
Oh.
We also offer dance, cheer, gymnastics. We're actually going to also offer an ice skating camp this year to keep it a little bit interesting. So although we are going to be outside, there's a lot of things within the WCC especially that we're able to use all of the resources that we have. So there's a lot of different camps, and we have a lot to offer.
I'm sure that's a lot for all of you to navigate. I can imagine
Yes.
that, what is your capacity for how many kids can actually go to camp in Woodbridge this year?
Well, between all of the sites and the different things that we can have, I could say anywhere, from 500 to 800. I mean, we could take a lot of kids. It really depends. As long as we have the staff for it, everybody's welcome. And the good thing about having all these different locations is we don't have to have a capacity. We have different locations, and kids can go to the WCC one week. They can go to Bowtie the next. They could participate in the rec department camps if they like. They have options. So this year, we really can hold a lot more than we could in the past.
So parents don't necessarily have to sign up like this month in order to get help. Like what if it turned out that they found that they needed something during the summer? They could actually navigate that and change the time?
Absolutely. As of right now, registration is open, so we will take anything as of right now. But as the summer goes on, we do allow for signups. It usually takes place on Wednesdays or Fridays maybe this year, but it is open as long as you sign up the week prior. We'll take them.
And what if you had to make a change or a cancellation? Is it pretty, allowable?
Yeah, it's pretty allowable. It depends on what the change is and what the circumstance is, whether or not there is a fee or not, but we try and accommodate everybody.
I know my own son went to a golf camp last year and then he got sick and missed a few days. So would that be able to be made up, or how does that work within the community as well?
Generally, if we do have like a specialty camp that is a certain kind of sport, if they do have to miss due to an illness or something like that, obviously that week probably came and gone already. So there are other options that we have. So there might be something that we could work out, maybe moving them to a different kind of camp or offering them a different place or location or anything for them to go to. But we like to try and accommodate everybody as best that we can.
That sounds great. Tell me a little bit about your safety precautions, because I know as a mom that would be something I would be worried about. If my kids were all over town, like, how do you keep track of them? What is the protocol for safety?
As of right now, every time that the camp counselors or the children leave the buildings or the locations, we always have all of their medical information on hand. We keep them also at our sites, but wherever we go, we make sure that we have the signed information from the parent that lets us know whether or not we can provide assistance to their children if needed, where they will be located. We also are going to be using a certain software that we use, which also holds all of that information for every single child in every single camp. So everyone that is a camp director from each location will have access to that. We also use that program to schedule the children. So at any point in time in the day, we will know where they are. Whether it be in a building or at a different location, we will know.
And do you count heads? Especially the little ones, they can tend to squirm away.
Right.
I know that I used to be a counselor at the club at Woodbridge, and it was fun. It was a great job, but I was always nervous to make sure I was keeping everybody in line, because they do, they're little stinkers sometimes, try to creep away. How does that work at the camp?
We have ratios. So to every 10 kids, there must be one counselor, but it also depends on the age, so those ratios can vary. Along with the swimming as well, we also have our lifeguards at every location that has a pool. So although that we do have the camp counselor ratio to campers, we also have an extra sense of safety there with our lifeguards who are more highly trained, and they have a better eye to be able to look at these kids and know where they are, where they're supposed to be, and we all do a good job in trying to assist each other in that.
I know that for some kids that are at that cusp where they're really not able to stay home alone yet, but they're almost like pre-teenagers, would there be a different type of a criteria for them? I know at the community center you have a table for pool, and there's plenty of things the kids can do, maybe the ice rink and the roller rink, but what would those kids be doing that are at that medium point?
It's kind of hard to try and find things, that will satisfy every age group of every child, but we do our best. We have tried to integrate a couple more things, more exciting trips that they can take. So whereas some, maybe a 4-year-old might be attending a trip to the Crayola factory, they might be going to I Play America or something along those lines. Yeah, we try and, adjust our trips and the activities that we do in accordance to their age, and hopefully to just keep their interest. We don't want to lose that age group of children.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Also, what about technology? What about cell phones on these kids? Is there any type of a policy for that, or how does that work?
Absolutely not. There are no cell phones allowed. If they must have it, it must be away. They're only to be used in the event of an emergency. But with the technology, with this day and age, we really have to be careful about what the kids are doing on their cell phones, what we're doing on our cell phones around those children, and just making sure that we're keeping a close eye on that.
So are they able to check them in with you in the morning, or do they not bring them to camp at all?
We don't recommend it, but if they must, if a parent, prefers that it be there, it does just have to be tucked away in their backpack, and it can't be brought out unless given specific permission to do so.
So Lindsay, we've gotten so much great information about the WCC and what you have to offer in camps. How can I sign up, and how can all of our guests find out how they can sign their kids up for camp?
As of right now, we have our program guides available at the Woodbridge Community Center. They're posted everywhere. You should really stop in to see one. We have a lot of more information in those program guides that will guide the parent to choosing the right camp for them. We are accepting registrations right now at the Woodbridge Community Center for all locations and camps. So if you come in, anybody can assist you. We can give you the information that you need, and we can get you to sign up right there.
And also on the website?
Absolutely. We have our website, the WCC website, and we also have the township website. Information is also available on them.
Great. Lindsay, you've been a wealth of knowledge. We're so glad that you came.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us on Wellness Woodbridge. It was my first day, and we got through it, and I'm very excited. I can't wait to come back and talk about more wonderful wellness topics with you. Thanks so much.